Hey guys, Dave here. So I guess it's that time. I got a knife in from Jeff, Tough Knives, Tough Thumbs. You guys know him, Tough Thumbs on YouTube, Tough Knives everywhere else. And you guys probably know already what knife that is. It probably would have been a lot sooner, but I just for the life of me could not figure out what I wanted to do. I couldn't figure out, if I wanted to do something fancier, if I wanted to, and I kept on seeing more and more ideas taken, for the Tanic, and I just for the life of me could not figure out what I wanted to do. And I was talking to a buddy of mine in Canada, and he happened to just say something to me, and it immediately triggered, and I actually, I just wrote it down so I wouldn't forget. And I contacted Jeff right away as soon as I got done talking to my buddy in Canada, and I told him, I said, I figured it out. I said I want to go with the buoy shaped blade in a satin. It's actually been stonewashed and then kind of hand polished or hand rubbed. And I said, I just want flame anodizing. That's all I wanted, was just flame anodizing, because in the end this knife is meant to be a user, not some fancy man jewelry or whatever. And it is a flipper. It doesn't, I am going to have some flippers, but this is the way I wanted it. It was something simple, but still looks absolutely incredible with the flame anodizing that Jeff does. And I know a lot of people forget that he does this flame anodizing, and I just remembered, a long time ago, not a long time ago, it was probably 5 or 6 months ago, him and Gav were doing a bunch of work, and Jeff had done some flame anodizing to the frame lock side of a 550. And so I asked him, I said, can you do that? And he goes, of course he wasn't, he wanted to probably do something fancier than this. And in the end he did wind up doing one part of it pretty fancy, but it just came out exactly how I would have hoped, which is just not too fancy. But the flame anodizing itself is pretty fancy. So the flame anodizing, it can easily come off, you bump into it, whatever, it can easily come off, but it can also easily be fixed and redone. And so that was part of the reason that I liked it so much. First of all, this, as soon as I saw the buoy shaped blade, I definitely knew that was the blade I was going to do, that I wanted. And I wanted the way he made this, and I know he said he's going to talk about it in a video, but we discussed it. But he actually says this is the longest blade he has on a Tanic. And it's because he did something, and I know he's going to discuss it later, so I'm not going to say. But yeah, it came out absolutely unbelievable, and I know he's in love with the buoy-shaped pocket clip. So you can kind of see the blade shape there, how it sweeps up. Well, so does the pocket clip right there. And that's just dark anodizing. That is not a bend or anything. That's just where the anodizing is a little bit darker. But you can see how he did that pocket clip, and it also acts as an over travel for the lock bar. So it's just, yeah, it came out insane, especially the way, he also, the heat treat, the flame anodizing on the pivot and everything else, the way everything matches. It's just absolutely unbelievable, and I cannot be more impressed with how it turned out. This is exactly the way I envisioned it, and I know, I've had a lot of compliments on it and everything with the pictures that I posted on Instagram, because, I didn't do anything. I know, Be Done got a fancy one, and some other people got some pretty fancy ones, and I just, this is not a knock to them. They look amazing. I just didn't want anything that fancy. I wanted something simple that in the end, is just a user, and but still looks really, really cool. And so this flame anodizing, it just immediately was the idea that as soon as I was talking to my buddy Cam in Canada, so mad props to you, bud. I just wanted to say, thanks, because you were the one who immediately triggered the idea behind this. And so, yeah, just absolutely unbelievable, and cannot be more impressed. I thought I would get out the tape measure. I don't know how many people have really discussed the specs on it. And then depending on how to me, this is almost 2 blades in one. Depending on how you're holding the handle, you have the flat, And then of course you have, you know, the Tonto at the front, almost the way, you know, it sweeps down. So, you know, depending on how you're holding the knife, you do have the flat edge. I know a lot of people have talked about this blade shape and everything, so just depending on how you wanted to measure it, excuse me, is, you know, if you go total length, you know, bent across the edge, it's pretty long actually. It would be about 3 5/8. But, you know, I mean, just measuring both edges, you know, you got what, you got 2 inches up front, and then you got what, it should be about 1 7/8, which is, or yeah, all right, it's 1 3/4. I didn't have the tape, so about 3 3/4 total sharpened edge. You know, and then if you just measure straight across, if that's how everybody wants to, you know, from tip to the end of the grip, you have about 3 1/8. 3 1/8 to right here. So that's exactly, you know, so blade size wise, you have about 3 1/8. Total length being right at just shy of 8 inches long total. Just shy of 8 inches long total. So handle length being just shy of 5. So those are the specs, and everybody's seen this thing. Just unbelievable. Just give you guys some quick little close-ups. You can see useful jimping on top here. The thumb ramp I really like a lot, especially with the ergonomics of the handle. I like the thumb ramp a lot, so it's yeah, it does. That thumb ramp is just awesome. But it came out, it is, I mean, it just came out amazing. I was really surprised with, I mean, it really truly is his first, you know, full frame lock, you know, run of frame locks that he's made, and it's very impressive. Rock solid lockup, does not move. You guys can see the percentage here. We're probably looking at about maybe 15–20%, maybe. And just cannot be more, you know, more solid. It just, when it locks up, and you know, it's just good detent, and it just snaps open. I'll show you the detent here so you guys can see. I know Jeff already did a video on this, so you know, it's just one of those deals where, and it's just gonna, there it grabs, and so you don't have the, you know, it's not gonna snap out, but then if you just, and it just snaps. So, I mean, I'm telling you, I mean, it's really, I know Jeff's done a lot of work and a lot of modifying and a lot of, you know, stuff, but, you know, when it's all said and done, this really is his first frame lock and, you know, full-blown run of frame locks. And I know a lot of people are impressed with the knife, and everybody that's gotten one so far, it's a great knife. I just, you know, I'm pretty impressed that it came out. And I did not say that the logo had to be perfect. I said I asked for the logo to be dark, so that you could see it against that blade. I don't care if it was not perfect. That's totally up to you, bud. But I know he said that in the video. He's poking fun at me, so I thought I'd make some jokes. But yeah, it definitely offsets, and yeah, the way that flame anodizing looks, just absolutely insane. And this is, I think somewhere inside it's stamped number 7 or something. I think that's what he told me. Somewhere in here it should say number 7. I don't know where, but I know it's Tanic number 7. So that was the original number, that if I couldn't get number 1, which I think it was originally for, yeah, I think it was originally for somebody else, and I think Brian wound up getting number 1. But I had always asked him for Tanic number 7. So there it is, Tuff Tanic number 7. Flame anodizing, something simple. Buoy shaped blade, buoy shaped pocket clip, came out pretty amazing. So cannot be happier, man. Thanks a lot. Just wanted to say thanks, bud. Really appreciate it. Didn't come with any certificate or anything like that, or a case or anything like that. He said he's going to send those out later. So, and that's no worries. Who cares? You know, I'll definitely take it if there's going to be a certificate with it. But yeah, pretty awesome, the finished product. This is what we're paying for in the end. So just, yeah, Tuff Tanic number 7. Unbelievable. Thanks a bunch, Jeff. Really appreciate it, bub. Cannot be happier, man. I am really impressed with it being your first frame lock. Cannot be more impressed, man. And just, you know, of course, your customizing and the work that you do is really incredible. So thanks a lot, bud. Appreciate you. And you guys, I'll talk to you again real soon.